What's going down? Keep it locked in right here. We got lots of action in today's video. Definitely like and subscribe. It's going down. Starting off with a little bit of a highlight, just a preview. Some Rush action that we did earlier. Yes, Rush is back, and well, we got a lot to talk about. So get ready for the intro and enjoy the rest of the clip. Hold it down, hold it down. We cleared it. That's good. Whoa, that was an excellent fucking play right there.
Been on the battlefield for a long, long time. I can see life closing in. Y'all niggas don't see it? On this old body of mine. I'm the kingpin, corn future, making a killing in these buildings in the millions. Got them feeling like Booster. Shit hot as Fallujah, kids grown now, they cock Rugers. Welcome back to the sewers with new whips maneuver. No kids playing, no safe and sound havens. It's trade pound cases on the playground pavement. No more dudes with 22s in their sneaker soles. Kids throw shit that leave your body with heap of holes. I'm that neighborhood blizzard flooding these streets with snow. Heavy iron on them ready, my shit'll crease your clothes. Keep a flock of the sweetest souls, yeah I sweep with those. Little slum young Keisha Coles with cheaper clothes. Undercovers all around the gutter, they creeping low. I stays ahead, kid, I toss bread like pieces dough. I keep a tef around my torso with the beast below. That bulldog short nose, DB a beast with those, you know. Been on the battlefield for a long, long time. I can see life closing in on this old body of mine.
Now the Battlefield 6 beta may be coming to a close, but this is just the beginning. I have tons of footage that I went ahead and focused on capturing throughout the 2 weekends where the beta is taking place. Managed to get some really good highlight clips, full games, tips and tricks that I want to go over, a lot of things that I noticed while I'm playing the game. And this is coming from a Battlefield veteran. I've been playing Battlefield since the jump. Like since they started putting this game on consoles, I've been all about Battlefield. Now, I've also played Call of Duty, so I am a Call of Duty player also as well ever since the PS2 days with the World War II Call of Duty games. And so I'm definitely a veteran when it comes to this, especially on console. But we have a lot to talk about with this video because now we're dealing with crossplay. We got the PlayStation 5 Pro here pushing the PSSR performance mode, Battlefield 6 running at 1440p. It's looking great. Now, of course, the PS5 Pro is only recording at 1080p, 60 frames per second when I'm playing at high refresh rate. But all this footage is straight from the PlayStation, rendered at 4K so that we can get some pretty decent playback quality for YouTube.
I sacrificed myself for that to get that tape.
What Battlefield 6 is showing me is that I haven't even lost a single step over the years. Really, if anything, I've actually improved. With the new PlayStation hardware, I may not actually have the reflexes that I used to, but I've made up for it in skill. Being able to be more cunning with the way I get the angles on the enemies, not running out of nowhere or ducking behind cover, except choosing when and where to pick my battles, which angles to re-engage on. Like you see right here in this window move, very clever. But you have to use every bit of your skill, your peripherals. You have to be aware of what's going on the map. You have to use the footsteps, the sounds, which by the way, Battlefield has an excellent sound design. I gotta say, it's top notch. Haven't heard anything like it before. It just sounds like you're so immersed in a battle. There's so many explosions, so many gunshots going around. It gets pretty hectic, but it's a lot of fun. Smaller game modes, larger game modes, it really just found the versatility to play all of them and really enjoy them. I really feel like this game is really opening up the potential for console gamers to really get the chance to fight alongside PC gamers and really show them what we're made of. You know, during this alpha and beta, basically, we've been able to fight against PC gamers, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, you know, and it really just goes to show that skill does translate, especially when playing at the higher frame rates that the PS5 Pro offers, running anywhere between 80 to 115 frames per second, depending on the map. But your open maps are actually running better than the close quarters maps on the PlayStation, mainly because there's just more graphics to produce, and leaning on the GPU of the powerful PS5 Pro is really paying its dividends with some of this gameplay here. And so playing on a monitor, and it's just been really smooth. And well, quite honestly, I feel like maybe a TV upgrade may be in order at some point, but to be honest, I think that this is a pretty decent setup to play this game, and it's going to be a lot of fun when the game fully launches. My experience with the beta is overall just fantastic. There was a couple of strange glitches that we had to bring up. Of course, you had the bloom issue that had been everybody had been talking about, where if you cancel a slide, sometimes your spray would be as if you're still in mid-slide, and so whenever that would take place, you just shooting all over the goddamn place. It was terrible. So hopefully that gets addressed before the game comes out. Supposedly they said that they will be fixing that. What else did we have? You also had some strange stuff going on in the menu. I believe that it might have been my own fault because of the key binding, that every time I was trying to adjust my classes while playing specific game modes, like domination for example, wouldn't allow me to actually adjust the class because it's already spawning me in because I clicked the button X or something. Something was going on there, but it was very weird because it only did that in the smaller map game modes. It never really did that when I was on Conquest, so I don't know why there's inconsistency there, but that was another glitch that I noticed. Also, the sniper glint was just way over exaggerated. There's even a couple points throughout the map that just act like a sun and just send out a whole bunch of light. I don't know what's going on with that, but of course they need to fix that. The physics in the game does have excellent particle effects, a lot of the debris breaking off and everything. This is a game that's definitely next gen. This game's not going to be available on the last gen consoles, thank God. And so that raises the minimum requirements of the hardware that this game is going to be used for updates moving forward. And that just means that we have more focus on current gen hardware, and that's a great thing for the game. Black Ops 7, from my understanding, will still be running on old gen hardware, and so it'd be interesting to see how the technology stacks up against each other in these two titles that are what would be considered the heavyweight contenders for the genre of the first-person shooters. So will be exciting to see how that plays out. But as far as the technology in Battlefield games, we know that they're always top of the line. Though this game particularly runs focused on rasterization rather than things like ray tracing, which they could probably add later on, but that would most likely be something that's more focused on PC. It seems like they have a really polished build in the game that has been used across the board, across console and across PC hardware of different levels. And so as of right now, the game is just running great. Now what we're looking at right here is Rush, and that's another thing that people have been talking about. Rush is back. And it does have about 24 players total in the lobby, so 12v12 makes it a little bit more compact. And I feel like it's, from my experience, I feel like it's pretty balanced. It does get pretty hectic, as you would expect Rush to get hectic, but nowhere near as hectic as it was back in the day where it was a full lobby with over 30, 40, 50 players in one instance, where smoke screens and spam and grenades on the objective just get way out of hand. So I think this may be okay. Another thing that I have to bring up, especially for objective-based game modes like this, is the importance of the spawn beacon. I noticed that in weekend 2 of the beta, I was running spawn beacon pretty much the whole entire time, mainly because I felt like I had to. I had to be that fit in that role. And of course, with the spawn beacon being moved to the assault class, I'm kind of half and half on it, because I do like having the scouts abilities, like the with the C4, the ability to quick spot everything that I'm aiming at. Those are really good perks that really stand out for that class. And so having the spawn beacon in that class, I'm not quite sure how that'll play out. I don't want to say anything yet. I have to see how that plays out with the assault class when the full game releases. But being able to run 2 primary weapons is something that I definitely would like to do while still having access to a spawn beacon, so that we can get our spawn, our squad, and tactically placed close to every objective that we're focused on. That's something that's super important for the ebb and flow of playing Battlefield. It also allows you to get right back into the fight in a much more advantageous position, which can increase the total amount of kills that you can get in a game, or just points in general. Being closer to the action gets you right back into the fight instead of having to run all the way back from a default spawn. Having the spawn beacon is super crucial, and I almost feel like that may be something that I need to specialize in, because I will be running with multiple squads, and the spawn beacon is only usable with your squad. Whereas you can spawn on one of your teammates that spawns on your spawn beacon to keep the spawn beacon from expiring, because the moment that you spawn on it, it does blow up. So you would have to immediately put down another spawn beacon in order to keep that going for other teammates that need to spawn back in. Otherwise, what you would do is you would just click on one of your teammates that just recently spawned on that spawn beacon, and hopefully they're not in combat already. And then you'd be able to just jump in right where they're at, and everything keeps going forward normally. Now, that is super important for game modes such as Rush, and I would say Conquest as well. Mainly because you got to take over the points. Conquest, the last thing you want is for the entire board to be filled with red objectives, and for your team to be limited to your spawn. And that's not something that I experienced much in the beta, so I think the maps may be, for the most part, very balanced across the board. With the exception of this actual map, Liberation Peak, on Conquest mode, I feel like the Pax Armada side has a bit of a disadvantage. Not only because there was a bug that was preventing their fighter jets from doing pass-by repairs. That was something that wasn't available for that side, and so that was a disadvantage for them. But also just overall access to the sea point from the spawning point. I don't think that it's necessarily the same distance, so there's some strange shit going on there. But overall, I think the game is in a really good state. Like, it's very playable. People were just treating this game like as if it was a full release. We saw over 500,000 concurrent players. Crossplay is a thing, right? It's here to stay. It has become a default option for a lot of first-person shooters and other shooters, basically to keep everybody on the same playing field, keep servers full, and I understand that. But there's something that we really need to address. And so, because this game was so popular on Steam, we saw that it peaked at over 500,000 concurrent players, with over 800,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch, with even thousands, hundreds of thousands more on YouTube while this beta was going on. So a lot of eyes on this game, a lot of critics, a lot of fans, a lot of people that are looking to forge their opinions on whether or not this is going to be a game that they're going to want to play long term. Overall, they've had a very good success with building the hype around this title, especially now that Black Ops has just had their reveal trailer today, their gameplay trailer, and their developer documentaries. It's really looking like Battlefield is the game of this year when it comes to the action-packed first-person shooter. And so we have to get this right. If we're going to have crossplay, we can't have 500,000 concurrent players on Steam trying to play the game, while at the same time 300,000 attempted cheaters. See what they've given us the metric that over 300,000 cheaters, individual cheaters. Hopefully, I mean, God, unless they're just using multiple accounts and spamming it trying to cheat, that the anti-cheat software has had to encounter that many. And what that just goes to show is just how evident it is that cheating is something that PC gamers want to do. Now, for those of you that don't cheat, that play on PC, I applaud you. Thank you. But there are a lot of cheaters that play on PC. Can you imagine if they were actually allowed to play the game? That would have been 800,000 total players on Steam, with almost half of them being cheaters. It's fucked up. It shouldn't be like that. And so for a console gamer like myself who wants to come in there, use my little 85 to 110 frame per second PS5 Pro, which is handling the game, looking great, looking beautiful, running the game strong, really pushing the limits of what this current gen hardware is capable of with its little old school was a Zen 2 CPU and a hybrid RDNA GPU that is pushing the boundaries of what these consoles are able to do within the next few years. That this game is running great, but I don't want it to be at a disadvantage for people that are playing that have to have every single advantage imaginable. Of course, PC gamers are able to adjust settings to get the shadows lowered down and the graphics extra low if they want to really squeeze out every frame that they can, but you shouldn't have to rely on having to go through the measures like that. And then even on top of that, cheating on top of that, like, how many advantages do you need to have? Right? Like, that's just something that I'm going to be observing very closely when the game launches, because I would like to play on crossplay. I have friends that play on other consoles like the Xbox One X, and I do have friends that play on PC as well. So I would like to play alongside everybody. Multiple squads, taking over servers, using that server browser to really build a community of players. But if it gets to the point where PC is just doing this, or PC gamers are doing this by the hundreds of thousands and attempting to crack these codes and try to cheat the game, it even requires a secure boot load, that's going to be something that hinders the experience for everybody. And then the console gamers are just going to, en masse, just turn crossplay off, which I love, and that's one of the huge advantages of playing on a console that's not talked about as much. Like, yeah, we have to pay a yearly subscription to play online, but I don't even know if this is a thing, cheating on console. Like, even, I guess Chrona's in, if anything, if anybody's cheating, but I think there's ways that they're detecting that too nowadays. People on console don't cheat. That is just, that's not a widespread thing. That's not a thing, right? You come in here with your skill, or you just get the fuck out of the game, right? So you're not going to be doing that against console players. You're going to have to bring your skill to the table. And if you have more frame rates than 115, then great. But we're here to show you that we're going to kick y'all's ass either way. whether you got the frames or not. But you're not going to be cheating against us. That's one thing that's for goddamn sure. So anyways, that's a little bit of a rant there. I got a lot more videos that I'm going to be making because I have tons of footage from the beta that is consistently good. We're going to see some really high kill games from the beta, just from my gameplay. And I hope that you guys at least got some thoughts going as far as the conversation about this game, because we got a whole month, over a month to go before the game comes out. And, well, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about everything that the beta had brought to the table. So, again, this is Ayalawan. This is, of course, Battlefield 6, which is looking like the game to play. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Shalom.
Hold it down, hold it down. We cleared it. That's good. Whoa, that was an excellent fucking play right there. God damn, I gotta fall back. I'm weak. Y'all got the other one? Hell yeah. Finish this shit up. Had a rough start too. Got UAV coming in. Ah, shit, I'm down. Someone get me. That's the George W. Shit. Nah, most of that was infantry. That's just how I be on Battlefield, yo. Yeah, I'm pretty solid on this game. I've been a Battlefield nigga since Bad Company 1. It was either 1 or 2, I forget.